Hello, I'm John Donnelly, Head of Global Placement Asia Pacific at Marsh. I'd like to spend a few minutes looking at the insurance market pricing in the Pacific region in the fourth quarter 2020. Overall, insurance pricing in the quarter increased 35% year over year in the region, continuing a trend that began in Q4 2016, according to Marsh's Global Insurance Market Index. Global prices rose 22% in the same period. It's important to note that we report average pricing changes. The data used to estimate them are broad and cover a wide range of clients in terms of size, industry, location, claims history, and more. With that in mind, I'll start off with a look at the property insurance market trends in the quarter. Property pricing increased 31%, similar to the prior quarter, and the Australian insurance market suffered heavy catastrophe losses in early 2020, with bushfires, storms and floods producing large claims for insurers. Major points of interest were continued focus on coverage restrictions and wording amendments, either enforced by carriers or offered by clients to mitigate price increases. There were reduced limits available on large limit programs due to capacity constraints or inflated premiums. Underwriters continued to concentrate on pandemic and cyber clauses, catastrophe limits and contingent business interruption exposures. Next, financial and professional lines pricing rose 51% in the quarter, marking 14 consecutive quarters of double-digit increases. The financial and professional lines market continued to deteriorate. All major lines, D&O, professional indemnity and financial institutions were affected by reduced insurer appetite. Major claims continued to dominate the market, particularly around listed company D&O and construction and engineering PI. Listed D&O accounts experienced increases above 100% in many cases, with reduced limits common. Moving on to casualty insurance, pricing rose 15%. Which was the largest year-over-year increase since 2012. Bushfire, including power distribution, US-exposed organisations and those with frequency claims records often experienced higher increases. Excess layer pricing increased at a higher percentage than did primary layers. Casualty claims increased due to systemic issues and specific COVID-19 impacts. Social inflation is rising due to increased medical costs, all of which put pressure on insurer performance. Several underwriters have reduced line sizes, contributing to pricing pressure on excess layers. This is just a snapshot of pricing at the end of the fourth quarter. Globally, the trend to higher pricing started in late 2017. It followed a series of events, including catastrophe events in Asia and in North America, that adversely affected insurer financial performance. Since then, the rate and breadth of pricing changes across geographies and products has increased. Based on current conditions, we expect the pricing environment to remain challenging in most regions and across most products, with the firming market extending into 2021. However, there are signs in some categories and in some regions that pricing increases may be plateauing. Let me leave you with a few things to consider as you approach renewals. First, it's important to communicate with and manage the expectations of senior executives and boards, as renewal negotiations may be lengthy and potentially more difficult. Second, work with your broker to set a clear strategy before renewal discussions begin and be prepared to modify the strategy as conditions change. Third, involve senior leaders in the negotiation process. Don't underestimate the value your top leaders can bring to meetings with underwriters. Fourth, consider different approaches and solutions. This may involve trading increased retentions and premiums, alternate program structures, or forming a captive insurer. Finally, keep in touch with your Marsh representative for help as you strategise ahead of upcoming renewals.